And I just want to tell you why,
Mm-hmm.
right? Based on the numbers, I'm pretty sure you know it starts off kind of even and around 18. It starts to decline, and around 30, it gets out of hand where we're at, say, 7 to 10, 6
Mm-hmm.
to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But when you factor in unemployable, unemployed, homosexuals, people who stay at home, we could argue it's probably 4 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So with those type of numbers,
Plus incarcerated.
plus incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
So with those type of numbers, don't you think it's reality for women eventually to look to other races for men, even if you don't condone it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like a realistic approach because there's just not enough men. And I want to go against I know you're going to mention polygamy, right? But the only reason with polygamy, due to the income of a lot of black men, I don't know if there'll be enough black men making enough to take care of numerous women, unless you redefine polygamy where the women are taking care of the men in some weird way. But I want to hear what you have.
Good question. So do black women have to consider dating outside the race since there's not enough men available for them, and the ones who are available want a woman outside of the race? I would still be against it. I would say that the black woman can go north to Canada and get her a black man. She could go south to Central America. More than enough black men down there. More than enough black men in South America. More than enough black men in the Caribbean. I think she has to broaden her horizons, but I don't think she has to go outside of her race. And honestly speaking, I think it would be to her advantage to do so. And the reason I say that is because in America, we have had the economic emasculation of the black man, where women have been put in charge of the leadership of the community. And it has been this way for at least 50 years. We have created a culture where it's okay for black men to not be masculine, to not be leaders. So if the black woman is looking for that traditional black masculinity, she will definitely find that in Africa, where black men weren't subject to that white emasculation system. She will find him in South America. She will find him in the Caribbean, because these are communities where black men are raised and taught how to live off the land, how to build a house with your bare hands, how to be a provider for your family. They very much still have that original killer instinct, not killer in terms of killing somebody's life, but that do or die for my family mentality that a lot of us in the States don't have. So I think not only should the black woman look outside of the geographic borders of the United States for a husband, I think it'd be to her liking to do it. I know sisters who have married African men, some of whom never thought they would look at them. They were not attracted. And they said, when I gave myself a chance, I actually liked him more than the brothers because he was so much willing to be everything I wanted in a man. I'm not downplaying the brothers in the States, because we do have alphas and we do have brothers who still imbue that black masculine spirit. But if we're going to be honest, it's probably lower here than other places because of that emasculation process that we went to, along with all the other issues that the white power structure has introduced into the community. Now, for me, polygyny has to be considered. It doesn't have to be wholesale for everyone, and it doesn't have to last eternally. I can see a situation where some men can have more than one woman, and that this plural relationship system that we go to in the black community will only last as long as it is needed. Once you have a situation where the brothers are back on their feet and doing what they need to do, stop killing each other, stop being killed, stop going to prison because we have jobs and an economy for them, then maybe you can give it on up. I don't see it as perpetual. I see it as something that should be for the moment, as we need it, which can be the next 20, 40 years. You follow me? But I don't think it has to be perpetual. But here's the issue. We already have polygyny. Very few men, whether they in Africa, whether they here, whether they black, white, or yellow, but of course we're talking about ourselves. There's very few men who don't have more than one woman. You follow me? Monogamy is a myth. It doesn't exist anyway. The problem is most men are not being honest with their women, letting them know you're not my only one. So it keeps this idea, this Cinderella idea in the black woman's mind that I can have a man all to myself. Now, in theory, that's good, but you have to look at your circumstances. I'm not saying a woman should want to share her man. I would never want to share my wife. But when you look at the community and what is in the best interest of black people, when you look at all these children without fathers, when you look at these women who are on the lower end of the social economic ladder with 7 or 8 kids that they can barely raise, how do you not consider putting an able-bodied married man in that house to stabilize that system and provide nurture for those children. If we care about the future of black children, if we truly care about the future of black children, how do we not address the fact that 70% of them are being raised by single mothers?
Mm. He said a lot of handful, but I'm gonna go point by point. Now, the first point in the aspect, should black women date outside their race. Now, he made a good point in the aspect that black women shouldn't date outside the race because the simple fact is there is other black men or pretty much all throughout the world, especially in the aspect of Africa. Now, you already know Tasha K is one of them who right now is currently married to an African man, and I heard Kendra G right now is dating an African man as well. So there's also a lot of black women who is dating black men trying to keep it within the aspect of the race. Now, for the women that in the United States that don't want to travel overseas and that's just only want to deal with American, now I normally say I think women should keep it within the family when the aspect when I mean families keep it between black men. But however, love is love. Whatever you find, whatever fits your boat, fits your boat. So if you want to date outside your race, who am I to tell you not to? It's your own personal choice and pretty much your own preference. Now, in the aspect of him mentioning the fact of um poly and also monogamy. We already know we Hakeem and Jordan we talk about this all the time. Um I already say majority of the time most men are in a poly relationship. They're just not being honest with the woman. I've been saying that for a very long time. If a man got a baby mama, I already told people so many times that is pretty much your wife. People deny me and say, no, it's not your mind because of that construct. Man, that man's with you for 20 some years. So pretty much I consider that being your wife. And now that men today are just not being honest with women and telling women straight up the honest truth, like, hey, I want to have another woman within that relationship, but man is not keeping it 100% honest. And Umar, shout out to him, he mentioned that. He said, man, not keeping it 100 with the woman because sometimes the woman's okay with you having another woman within the relationship, as long as you don't disrespect her. But once again, there is a lot of women that's not down for that. But I think monogamy is pretty much is America construct. But if you really do research and you really dig in, majority of the time, men have multiple wives or multiple women. It just is what it is. And especially because we live in the United States where majority is women, it kind of makes sense. But that's just my take.
Yeah, that's true. And I think, like I said, Dr. Umar was saying, especially if you pro black, black African, Pan Africanist, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can go, out of state, Africa, Caribbean, South America, Canada, and then, and also, here in the States, uh, I feel like, a lot of black men and black women, needs to really talk about, have more conversation about, if since, the women outnumber the men, you know, it's especially in America. A lot of women, especially today, they're not okay with sharing. But the thing is, it's like if you care about the community, at least talk about it, and if you want to work out, if a man, sharing, if a woman's trying to sharing your man, just make sure there's set some rules, make sure you don't disrespect. Don't let it. To me, the number one thing is don't embarrass your woman because a lot of women they don't like to be embarrassed. Um, and if for that reason, if you want to make it work out, especially for men and women, and women want to share that man, just have a conversation about it at first. And for men, be honest. If you're not a one woman guy, be honest. Because if you get shut down, it's fine. We out, like I said, the women outnumbers us. Black women outnumbers us. So if you want to try to make it work out, just do it. If not, especially for the women, there's options. If you got to feel like you got to get out of your comfort zone, because I think because a lot of women here, they want to be comfortable here in America. There are some women who don't want to leave America because they don't want to experience going out to a different country, learn different language. This being out to a different country, it can be scary for women sometimes. But like with Dr. Umar said, there's a lot of options you can do. Really consider it, especially if you want to deal with a black man. If not, if you want to date outside your race, go ahead. That's my take.
Brothers, you know I'm a Pan Africanist, so we're gonna break this down. I'm gonna do this real quick. We should try to stick to our own people, and I say this with a heavy heart because I see the benefit of being with our own women. The same issues you're gonna have here, you're gonna have even worse when you go across the fence, or worse when you go across the border. He did have a point with saying that um checking another diaspora, and we men, even the passport bros, they don't even practice that. They go to the Philippines or DR. Technically DR is black, but you know me, they don't consider themselves black. So I agree with 100% wholeheartedly. I just think that the mentality that's been enforced on us in America brought so much division amongst us, and dating has been so redefined so many different times. So now we look at it like, okay, what's the reason to? And then to attack this, we need to start considering polygamy. A lot of you women are having kids, and a lot of men are not staying in the household. For willing man who's able-bodied, who wants to stay and represent and identify and accept your kids, you should link up with him regardless if he had two or three women. A lot of other men who are single are not going to sign for that unless you go get you a young 18-year-old and raise him into a man. There's a lot of you older women are doing it, snatching up the young guys until they leave you. So, we have to redefine all these things as, we get older and as our culture starts to progress.
And this is why it's so very important to make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Like always, it's also very important to go to Care Culture Radio Community tab. In the community tab, that's the Care Culture Radio t shirt, the, the Care Culture Radio hat, and also the KL Culture Radio coffee mug, and also press that K New Book Black Love. Come over here and support the platform because we on our way to 1K subscribers, guys. With your guys' support, we able to reach that goal. Like always, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. We are over and out.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace, peace.